Marcella, there you
Yes,
are.
I think
Great.
it works. Brilliant. I am a little bit fuzzy. I think I'm a little fairy, the MBA fairy, IMD fairy.
Yeah, great
Apologies.
that you're
Apologies for that.
joining us. Yeah. I love to have you here, Marcella. Not the first time you have been in our last conference, and we know each other meanwhile since years. And yeah, you today represent IMD, and what I should say about IMD. IMD Business School #1 in Europe. Yeah, worldwide one of the best business schools, triple accredited, like we heard ASCP, for example, or Lisbon Business School. A huge alumni circle, yeah.
Absolutely.
And even studying worldwide in Lausanne, in Singapore, or Shenzhen, for example. And yeah, Marcella, would you like to introduce yourself and IMD to us? It's your turn.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Harold. Lovely to see you, even though it's on the E side via Zoom. And welcome, everyone. Lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me. So my name is Marcella. I represent the MBA program here today. I'm part of the recruitment and admissions team for the 1-year full-time MBA program, although at IMD, we do offer also an executive MBA program as well as other executive masters. We have one and more coming up, and other certificates. The particularity about IMD is that we are a business school that was founded by Nestle through their need to train their managers when in the late 50s they were expanding. And so for us, that tie to business is really significant. Although we've achieved university status quite recently, we are very proud that we've specialized and we've dedicated all our all our institutional life to developing leaders that can manage in this complicated and extremely complex world, especially these days, now also with AI coming through. However, our focus is pretty much on leadership. That is one of the things that that every program at IMD has embedded. We've also heard from other schools that programs have this emphasis on being practical. As you all know, executives these days have limited time to learn academically, but more so what does stick in putting that knowledge into practical projects. So experiential is definitely one of the things that IMD focuses on. The other thing is the smallness of the class. Harold, you talked about the network. Many schools emphasize that, and we are also nonetheless doing that. The network is one of the most important things that you go to an MBA and a business school for. Studying, learning, and exchanging with like-minded individuals, people from all over the world, different professional backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, is really where the learning happens, much more than from professor onto student. And so just wanted to highlight that as well. I'm sure many of the programs here also emphasize that learning within the classroom and within the project work as well. We focus very much also on the startup environment. We are based in Lausanne, Switzerland, and in Lausanne we have an increasingly growing entrepreneurship ecosystem just around the Lake Geneva. And that's one of the things also that we are very much focusing on, as well as, of course, sustainability and circular economy. Voila. Harold, I think one of the things that we are here for is to understand why engineers might be interested in doing an MBA program. I'm not sure if you've covered it today, but one of the things that we see that is really important for an engineer when they want to make that transition into business, and they just before that time when their career trajectory would risk leading them into a very, very technical role, a very technical kind of corner, if you like. And just before they do that, around between, say, 26, 27, and 30 is where we find the majority of, in this case, engineers are thinking maybe it's time to take a step back and look at, what are my prospects? What is my career going to be like for the next 5-10 years? Where do I want to be? And if I want to be in the more commercial, strategic roles, what is it that I need to do? And that's when an MBA then comes in handy. You take a year out, you spend it among peers, but peers from all over the world, as I said, with different backgrounds, to really understand what the next steps are for you. I guess that's also what you see, Harold, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's also
Yes.
what you...
Yes. What I learned is that you have a future readiness indicator that you learn when you go to IMD, especially for engineers. It's I would say quite different point of view that you learn. You live in a time of agility, and what you learn at IMD is not to overact, to combine the ability to balance the agility with a kind, that's what you say, a kind of technological patience. What does it mean for an engineer? He's hands-on. He's hands-on. He wants to act. Why should we have to be a bit patient in these times where things happen?
Right. I think often engineers are very quick solution minded, have problem, find solution. And I think one of the things that we see in the leadership streams is to take that step back and look at the wider system that not necessarily goes just around the problem, but around the impact that your actions will have, whether it's in your team, whether it's within the school, whether it's within the company, whether it's within the society, and so on and so forth. And I think that mixture between your leadership skills that are geared towards your self-awareness and your self-observation and the impact that it has on others, your functional skills, so those skills that are business related, marketing, supply chain, operations, and so forth, and the impact that has, as well as your transversal skills, those skills that are particularly related to what you were saying, that sort of ability to take a step back. Can I recognize pattern? Are my ways of solving problems structured? For an engineer, I would hope so. But of course, we have other people there. How do I make decisions? How do I plan a scenario? Can I ask good questions? Storyboarding, storytelling, all these skills that we call transversal skills are also those that we put under the future ready, so that you come out of the program and you can plug yourself right into your next job instead of just relying on your technical skills.
Yes, and that's I think today it's a very a wonderful new point of going onto the facts, the things that have to do. That is that you have responsibility not only for your employees, not only because you're a leader, not only for your company, but you have a society in your responsible action for others, for sustainability, for the society. It's always a kind of ethic topics. All these topics are a topic of leadership today.
Absolutely. And I was going to add, you said society and the world at large. Let's not forget the ripple effect these days goes world size. It's as far as the world goes. And so one of the reasons, so we welcome a lot of engineers each year in class. Last year we had Georg, our first winner of a VDI scholarship.
Great.
And we have another one. We always encourage engineers to apply to the program. We have what we call a Hilti scholarship, and it's a scholarship of 50,000 francs, which is actually 50% of tuition fees for those with an engineering and STEM background. So I absolutely encourage you to find out more if this is of interest, because it's quite a large scholarship. We have 6 in total. So, do get yourself organized if you want to be awarded one of those.
Yeah, these are very interesting informations, especially VDI scholarship. However, not only VDI scholarships, all the other schools do have even other scholarships.
Absolutely.
And don't be too hesitating to ask for it.
Absolutely. I think I would say I would present it as a VDI scholarship since we are here in the conference, but it is a scholarship that was generously donated by Hilti. So, and it is geared towards engineers. That's why it is the perfect forum here to present that scholarship. That's the link that I wanted to make there.
That's it. It's a chance, yeah. And so we can finish. Thank you so much, Marcella,
for presenting yourself. Slide with the contact details, because yes. I think the most important thing, without going through all the program and all the details that we've seen, is to get in touch with me. Please send me a quick email, marcella.rispo@imd.org. You can catch me also on LinkedIn. And then ideally, we would have a conversation, a little one-to-one, so that I can assess your profile. We could discuss what the future for you most makes sense in terms of programs or career progression and so forth. And then we can take it from there. Thank you so much, Harold. It was a lovely conference, and I'll be a little bit in the background.
Thank you, Marcella. One more information for you. You talked about the guy who got the scholarship for the VDI scholarship, the fellow. You know that if you give us his name and information, we can do an interview in our newspaper with him. No,
you did. He's already in VDI. He's from November 2024.
Hammer. Okay.
He's already in the paper. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks to have you here, Marcella. Wonderful. We will meet.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, Harold, and bye-bye, everyone.